look who's here. Rich Rodriguez, what's old is new again. 17 years later, coach, the head coach again at West Virginia.
Wow, it seems like yesterday, right? But so thrilled. It's a great honor to be back. And it's not just my alma mater, it's my hometown, my home state. So it's a thrill of a lifetime.
It's 17 years. At what point in that did you think a reunion might be possible?
Good question. I really, you get so tied up in the jobs that you're at, you kind of try to stay where your feet are at. But there were a couple times over the last several years that you're like, geez, that's my alma mater. I'd love to come back. Because I didn't get to come back to visit much because you get so busy with work. And this opportunity came up, and I'm so blessed I have a chance to be the coach there again.
Tristan Vandenberg get on the field goal. It was so cool seeing the scene on Friday in Morgantown for your press conference. And you got emotional at a few different points. What was going through your head and your heart during that press conference?
But it did see. I said it seemed kind of surreal, and it really was. To come back, that doesn't happen very often. I know a few coaches have done that, but to be able to do that to this stage, and I've said it before, I think I'm a wiser, better version than I was 17 years ago. I better be, right? But I really do think that I've learned over the years, and I've always said that I want every one of my players to improve every year. I want all of our coaches to improve every year. I need to improve every year, and now I get a chance to show that at my alma mater.
What was the emotions of that phone call when they contacted you about the job opening?
This stuff happened so fast, and we were so busy. Jack State, which I loved our time at Jack State. I got to give them a lot of credit. Greg Seitz, our athletic director, and everybody at the school was so supportive. And we were in a championship game, so we're getting ready to play a bowl game as well. So everything kind of happened so fast with our championship game and this interview at West Virginia, and they were very, very supportive. Our players were supportive, but it all led to being back in the mountains of West Virginia.
Yeah. In this day and age right now for a college football head coach, what's your checklist like? I mean, you got to hire a staff. You got to worry about incoming guys in the portal. The current roster, evaluate that, try to retain guys.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, and I know there's been a lot of talk about the transfer portal being open now during bowl season and during the playoffs. And it is, guys, I think the calendar will change because there's no way that you can manage this effectively. And you got to give the players the freedom to move around. But to have it do it at this time, I think there's a better way to do it in this. And I'm not just speaking because I'm a new coach doing it. It's because it's hectic. You don't know who for sure is going to play in your bowl game. And the players are confused a little bit about what to do. And I think that's got to get cleaned up.
From your last time at West Virginia, how have you changed as a coach? What version of Rich Rodriguez will the Mountaineers be getting?
I like to think I'm a little bit milder and calmer, but if you watch this, Kurt, I don't know if I've been milder and calmer, but I think I always say this. Sometimes coaches brag about, I got 20-some years experience, but if they never learned or grew, they got 1 year experience repeated 25 times. And, I think I know a little bit more about the game. I think I'm a little bit better of a football coach than I was a year ago, let alone 20-some years ago. And, when I got back, this is the first time I had been back in our facility in 17 years, and you should see, it's phenomenal. I mean, our facility stands up with anybody in the country, and we're committed, to winning a national championship at West Virginia.
We've got a couple quarterback runs here from Garrett Green. I still think so fondly of watching Pat White, Steve Slayton, those guys in your offenses. How similar is the offense you want to run to what West Virginia fans would have last seen in 07?
Yeah, I think, when we had Pat and Stevie and all those guys, they were so dynamic. It didn't matter what play you called. I think it was going to work. But we still run the base system, and I always talk about playing with 11. And sometimes you got to play to the strengths of your players. If a quarterback's a better thrower than a runner, you may throw it some. But they're all going to be able to throw, and they all got to be able to run, at least be a willing runner. And I've been blessed to have willing runners.
What's the timeline for you now? You leave here, and you fill out the staff. What players are you looking for now to bring in?
Yeah, it's got to do both. I got to hire staff. I've got to try to retain some of our really good players here. I've got to obviously try to get some guys out of the portal and to get ready for our off-season program. So there's a lot going on. There's a little bit. I may have 4 days to enjoy over the holidays, maybe 3.5. But outside of that, this is going to be pretty busy. But it's a fun busy.
What's this game like? I mean, you're probably being pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah, there is, but there's really, I don't feel any pressure for some reason. I'm the new coach, but it doesn't go on my record. But, I mean, I've enjoyed, everybody's been the players that I've met, the fans that I've met, the current staff, they've been really great. And I've enjoyed, kind of getting reacclimated to Mountaineer country, and it's a blast. I see great fans here. And our guys are playing hard. We've got to execute a little bit better on both sides of the ball, and I think we'll get there. And Memphis has got a really good football team, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Garrett Green had a great scramble on that third down to pick up a first down. Second down coming up for West Virginia as we visit with Rich Rodriguez. And, it's Crazy to think about how much college football has changed in the time since you were at West
It
Virginia
has.
previously.
The biggest change is the roster turnover every year. Like last year at Jack State, we had 60 new players, and we were able to win. But it's a different kind of challenge. And as I told my coaches, that the goalposts to move, you got to move with it. And as you see, you're going to have players move from, until we get kind of some kind of deal where you lock them in for 2 or 3 years, you're going to have a lot of movement over a year. What my hope is that we take care of them. That we're at West Virginia, we win games, they're happy, and they don't want to leave until they go to the NFL. That's the key. That's the key.
Good pickup there to Hudson Clement, and a third down coming for Garrett Green in West Virginia.
How good does it have an ally in Pat McAfee?
Yeah, Pat's great. Everybody talks about when Pat played. He was one of the hardest workers that I had on my football team. He's one of the hardest workers now. That's why he's so successful. And he's been a great person, for not only for myself and us guys that coached him, but also for the university. For West Virginia University, he's a great ambassador. And I'm really proud of him because he's earned everything he's gotten.
Jaheim White is stacked up just short, so we've got 4th down coming after this stop from Memphis.
You think we'll go for it?
I say go for it. How
what would you do?
What would you do,
Yeah,
Coach?
4th and 1. In this stage of the game, I'm going for it. Might have a little kind of a tush push or something right there. But, we would already, we wouldn't have huddled up probably. We would have probably. We'd like to go tempo because I don't know who like to see a bunch of big guys holding hands in a huddle. But now we're going to get this first down right here and then keep this drive going.
Green pulls it, throwing for Taylor, up the ladder, batted around, and incomplete. So
that was
tush
a great
push.
Individual defensive play there.
It's a great play.
And broken up by Cortland Marsh. Coach, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thanks
really
for having me. Appreciate
Coach,
you.
good to see you.
Congratulations.
Let's go Mountaineers.